It's a sin to hide behind this heartache, to make believe that I've found someone new. It's a sin to say that I don't miss you when people know I'm still in love with you.
Does Ghost of She like quiet in grave?
Well, everything is in the grave. Quietly or otherwise.
Then visions of truth are at an end. Will you learn from truth? Maybe yes, maybe no. Only for you to decide.
If I even remember.
Here, take. Gift to remind you of visions. Use well, or sell to Courier trader. Either way, says much about you.
Ooh, now that is a hand. Thank you for your time, Four Eyes. Where were you when I lost my way? Where were you when I lost myself? Wow. What a night. What a fucking night. Oh, God. How many times did I throw up in my mouth? Oh, you know what? That's a mystery best left unsolved. Oh, Cloud. Shit. You were here the whole time? That's, very kind of you. Oh, fuck. I said things last night, didn't I? Things about your family. Cloud, your husband, he didn't make it. Your children are safe, but he died protecting them. I would have told you sooner, but I didn't know what to say. Oh god, my legs. Of course, Whitebird's special brew overrode that little concern. Holy shit. I need to thank him for that in the only way I know how. But seriously, Cloud, don't blame Daniel too much for this. He made a bad call when he tried to hide it from you, but he never meant to hurt you. As much as I like to give him shit, even I can see he means well. Besides, he has to worry about every last one of you. Can you imagine how many times he's already had to have this conversation? That would take its toll on anyone.
Perhaps. I will have to have a very long talk with Daniel when all of this is over. Thank you for telling me this truth.
And thank you for not making this more difficult than it already is. Listen, Cloud. I have made my decision. Not because of what I saw last night. I have no fucking idea what that was about. But because I realized something. I don't really know if there's a higher power out there, but it's clear to me now that I didn't end up here for no reason. I have a mission to fulfill. Whatever happens next, Cloud, keep yourself safe. Do it for your children. And for your husband's memory. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun conversation. Are you standing on your bed with your shoes on, Daniel? What an animal. Who's the primitive here? Sorry for being late. Last night was an experience. Would not recommend it.
Unless you and Joshua have any objections, I'd like to start evacuating the Sorrows. I'm going to need your help, so say your piece.
Well, I have a long piece to say, so you can fucking wait. First of all, you can bet your hat Joshua has problems. Have you not been speaking with him? Well, I have, and let's just say there are certain passages in your scripture that you've been glossing over. What is this reference about the Lord driving out money changers and beasts from his temple? That was rather proactive, wouldn't you say? How come he didn't go and find a new temple? Maybe he didn't because there was no other temple out there to be found. Or maybe he was setting an example for his followers. Perhaps you should be doing the same.
No. Why? Why? Haven't you seen enough of what's going on here to see that the Sorrows don't need to butcher the Whitelegs for a piece of land?
A piece of land? Oh, of course. That's all Zion means to you, doesn't it? Well, I've seen plenty, and I realized something last night. Have you ever met Whitebird? You know, the local shaman? Have you ever partaken in the Visions of Truth ceremony? Because that's what I did last night. Oh, don't get me wrong, it was horrific, but it seemed to matter to the Sorrows quite a bit. Do you know anything about what that is? What that involves? What it requires? Your silence is not giving me confidence, Daniel. I suppose the followers of the Lord do not indulge in narcotics, which is fair enough, I can respect that. But this is sacred to the Sorrows. And as their leader, you should at least know something about that. Shall I get to the point? The Grand Staircase. Does it have the sacred Datura plants there? What about Yaoguai? You know, where they get their Yaoguai gauntlets from? Those are just two of the most important parts of their culture. You don't know, do you? Never even crossed your mind to find out. But, of course, why should it cross your mind if it doesn't appear in your scripture? Well, do you know what I did find in your scripture? Jericho. That was just a piece of land too, but what happened there? The Lord's followers raised a fucking army and attacked it in his name. That's what happened.
What Joshua wants is more than an attack. He wants a slaughter. And he needs more than you and the dead horses to do it.
And apparently that's exactly what happened at Jericho too. A slaughter. Right after the walls fell, they destroyed the city and put everyone to the sword. Man, woman, young, old, and apparently the animals too. Not sure what the point of that was. I shouldn't have to explain this to you, of all people. Your scripture seemed to celebrate that. If I didn't know any better, it's almost like the Whitelegs cherry-picked that little passage and reenacted that story at New Canaan. Is that what this is really about, Daniel? You think the Sorrows will somehow turn into Whitelegs if they stood their ground and fought for their homeland? How can you think that's even close to being comparable to what the Whitelegs have done? I mean, you tried to defend your home when it was attacked. Did that make you a Whiteleg?
The Sorrows can't be pushed into this. You and Joshua don't have the right to force them into it. Please, consider what I'm saying.
And you have the right to displace them from their home? Don't give me this shit. Take a step back and look at what's happening from their perspective, Daniel. A bunch of outsiders barged into their home and started killing people. But instead of being taught how to defend themselves, they are being taught by another outsider to run away instead. And why? Because apparently some deity they never heard of before told them to? Not even that, this deity apparently endorses this kind of behavior, but that doesn't fit with your worldview, so you decide to leave that bit out.
I've already explained to them that we're leaving. They've accepted it. What is Joshua going to tell them about being a warrior?
They accepted that based on misunderstandings, half-truths, and the belief that there is no other choice. Why don't we gather everyone here right now and tell them the complete truth? That the only reason you won't let them fight is not because it's impossible to win, but it's because you want to keep them huddled up like children. Did you ever stop to ask what they want instead of what you think is best for them? And by what authority did you convince them anyway? We both know that your lord and their father aren't the same thing. But it's rather convenient for you to brush that aside when they help them embrace your scripture, isn't it? Well, unfortunately for you, I actually bothered to educate myself on their father's original teachings. And he has some choice words about what to do in this kind of situation. Perhaps I should tell them what he had to say.
What are you going to tell them about how to live with themselves after they got lost in the moment, killed someone who didn't deserve to die? Or does that not matter? Is that just an acceptable consequence if it means holding on to this valley?
Someone who didn't deserve to die? I don't know what you're talking about, but it certainly doesn't sound like the Whitelegs. Last time I checked, they are the invaders. They came into this valley not only with the intention to slaughter everyone who lives here, they're not even gonna stop doing that once they're done. They'll just move to another area and start all over again. Do they even have non-combatants here? We would know about them by now. So, yeah, it is an acceptable consequence if it means holding on to their homeland. Stop downplaying that detail. But you're too obsessed with not losing any more tribes that you forgot the best way to prevent that is to stop the problem at its source. I think it's time you took a break from preaching and spent some time listening. And the father said, I tell the children to read and to learn and to make the most of their new home. I tell them I'm giving them Zion as a gift to make up for all the sorrows of their lives so far, and all the sorrows man has visited on man. I tell them to be kind to each other and modest. I tell them to never hurt each other, but that if someone else comes along and tries to hurt them, to strike back with righteous anger. Randall Dean Clark, 2124. He may have been just a man to you and I, but he did more for Zion and the sorrows than any of us can ever know. And as long as the Father's children remain and defend this valley, his legacy shall live on. As it should. Last night, I told you it would be good for the Sorrows if they can learn to adapt to live somewhere else, in case they are ever forced to leave this valley. But that's not what's going on right now, is it? This is no natural disaster, nor is it insurmountable. It's time for the Sorrows to grow up. For in a world without mercy, Daniel, your brand of innocence will eventually get them killed.
Maybe there is no place left in this world for mercy. But even if it tramples me into the dust, I will never accept it. And I will never condone it. Joshua must be waiting for you. I'll stay here with the others as I told them I would.
Your opinion is noted. But today, it shall be nothing more than just that. Your opinion.
Thank you for this. I know Daniel doesn't approve, but destroying the Whitelegs is the only way to ensure the Sorrows can remain in Zion.
Well, he can go and cry in the corner for all I care. I get it. He's worried the Sorrows will develop a bloodlust and spiral out of control. But let's face it, that ship has sailed a long time ago. Look at how many Whitelegs are running amok in Zion. You seriously telling me the Sorrows haven't already killed some of them? Oh, it's time to get biblical. Amen to that.
That's it.
Oh, wow, nice one. The fuck? Did they just come out of the holy cave? Oh, shit, I just dumped the traps. I mean, there's nothing useful left in there, sure, but it's still sacred. But anyway, I don't know what kind of world Daniel thinks we're living in, but it doesn't exist. I'm not sure it ever existed. Decisions like this are often difficult to make, but sometimes, like here, it's not difficult at all. All cultures have to adapt to warfare sooner or later, and not all of them end up as a bunch of psychopaths. Even you Canaanites had to go through that experience. But his concerns are still valid to an extent. We need to be careful how we conduct ourselves tonight. Stick to the mission and nothing more.
Our objective is to find the Whitelegs' leader, Salt Upon Wounds, and prevent him from fleeing. Show no quarter to the Whitelegs we come across. Make no mistake about why we are here. This is an extermination.
Okay, see, that's the kind of language that gets me worried. You just said we're going after Salt Upon Wounds. So if they just surrender him to us, are you still going to just kill them all? Now you're making Daniel's case for him. Ow! Did you just shoot me? Hold that thought.
Embrace the Father's glory.
You didn't embrace hard enough. Okay. Whoever told you having the high ground guarantees victory was lying through their teeth. Okay, you had a friend. I can't actually see them from this angle. Hey, Joshua, do me a favor and keep them busy. I'm gonna see if there's a way up there. The Father does not discriminate based on height. No, don't stand out in the open. Hug the wall. There we go. I would say I shouldn't have to teach a seasoned veteran like you how to fight, but, I'd rather you didn't snap my neck from behind. More concerningly, he's using the word extermination a little too freely for my comfort. I mean, sure, we might end up achieving the same thing, but intention matters when you're setting an example for the Sorrows. Maybe he should have stayed behind and let me handle this. I'm way more restrained when it comes to fighting scumbags. Just ask the Legion. See how merciful I am? Okay, bad example. At least I'm not gonna put your head on a spike. Oh, hey, I mean, heads on spikes are all the rage these days. The kids love it, and I'm not cool enough to do that. You're not buying this, are you? Seriously though, that is messed up. For the love of the Father, please take those down after we deal with the Whitelegs. They're really not doing much to reassure Daniel's concerns about you. Anyway, there was another sacred cave up there, so these guys are definitely raiding them. I'm at two minds about what to do about that. On the one hand, I want to make sure no raiders can ever get inside and survive. But on the other hand, these caves should be a pilgrimage site for the Sorrows. It's where the original text of the Father is housed, after all. That's a pretty big deal. Or at least it should be if they can shake that taboo. But I'm gonna let them do that in their own time. Maybe you and Daniel should consider that too. You know, present the information and then leaving them to decide what to do with it, instead of forcing it down their throats. That's how you get heartburn. You see that, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you dial that back a couple of notches, please? I want to sleep tonight. Okay, these sides are a problem. Is it blasphemy for me to say that? Oh, no chance. You, on the other hand, stay right there, please. Thank you. Oh, the Father's justice will find you eventually. Oh, hey, how long have you been there? You had to drop on us and you still failed? I mean, I appreciate the gesture, but hot damn, you were terrible. I think it's fair to say we've lost the element of surprise by now. I mean, the sound of gunfire is disturbingly common around here, but this much religious fervor? No way. Can you feel God's love? How about now? Okay, I'm not very good at preaching. Does the recipient have to stay alive for it to count? That's optional, right?
There's still time to repent. Don't make me take out the book.
I will beat you to death with it. It's a thick book. Or I can hit you with my Pip-Boy. It has the other book on it, so it counts. Man, it's a good thing we're not evacuating across this bridge, huh, Daniel?
It would have been a massacre.
I mean, it's technically not the same bridge as the one we cleared, but chances are it would have been just as, if not more, chaotic. Imagine if we had to do this with a bunch of Sorrows trying to carefully cross over one or two at a time. They would have been easy pickings for Whitelegs waiting in ambush. In practice, the only way we could have done this is by sending out scouting parties ahead of time to take them out. There would have been a massive fight, at the end of which we basically would have wiped them out either way. I mean, seriously, these Whitelegs are fanatics looking to impress the Legion. They wouldn't just cut their losses and fuck off. But this is where the nuance comes in, Joshua. Even though there's a good chance none of them will survive anyway, you cannot go around telling the Sorrows and the Dead Horses to exterminate them. That's a very different mindset. In the unlikely scenario that the Whitelegs are willing to stop fighting, we need to leave them a corridor to escape. The last thing we want is to force their backs against the wall. Or, God forbid, if they surrender, just take it easy, okay? We're not rolling over, but there is a middle ground. Oh. You're not surrendering, are you? Sorry, I'm not waiting for an answer on that one. Don't rush at me with a weapon if you want to talk. Basic negotiation criteria right there.
Die where you stand!
Well, I'm sure they will comply with that request if you ask nicely enough. I'm not sure that's what you have in mind, though. Why don't you save that energy for Salt Upon Wounds? I have no idea what he looks like, but I'm assuming he'll be the one with the most over-the-top outfit. Don't worry, I'll leave him to you.
He's a butcher. Believe me, I know the godless fire that burns in his heart. I've been burned by it myself. He's not the kind to let his subordinates do all the killing. No. He likes to have a hand in it, with that spear of his. He's fashioned himself an abomination before the eyes of the Lord. I'm happy to serve as an instrument of divine justice.
Well, if that's true, then he should still be in their camp. Cowards typically wouldn't get very far in a society this brutal. Let's hope he's as reckless as I think he might be. Perhaps he'll just rush at us in a blind rage. The sooner we kill him, the faster the rest of them should lose face and start running.
They're still God's children. But if they turn against their brothers and sisters, won't listen to reason,
then maybe they'll listen to fear. Oh, and watch your step. I don't want to accidentally step into a bear trap in the water. Considering how much I mocked the Dead Horses for that trick, that would be way too ironic for my liking. Wait a minute. You guys are already here? I thought you were supposed to be following us. Okay, to hell with waiting. I'm gonna accidentally shoot one of these reckless fools, I swear to God.
I have divine protection and divine insurance. I'm not liable.
you
Well, that didn't last long. Oh yes, that was totally in self-defense. Let's all tell Daniel exactly that and maybe he'll chill the fuck out for once. Seriously though, I thought the plan was for us to be the vanguard. The sorrows and the dead horses were only supposed to follow behind and mop up any stragglers. What are you trying to do, Joshua?
I and the dead horses are prepared to do what must be done to protect Zion from the Whitelegs.
Well, there's one right out there, probably tripping on something if they didn't hear us. So if we're subtle about this...
You call down the wrath.
Well, fuck me then, I guess. This is what you're gonna teach them. Hey guys, I know you probably can't understand me, but in the future, don't just funnel yourself into a narrow path like that. Way too easy to get caught in an ambush. But anyway, I was hoping we could clear out most of the camps between the two of us while they watch and learn. I mean, look at them. We didn't have time to train them to be warriors. Some of them are literally charging at the enemy with nothing but loincloths, sharp objects, and optimism.
They may not be warriors, but this is their home.
I'm not disputing that, but there are nuances to consider. For example, that's called psychological warfare. Write that down. Anyway, I'm going to immediately contradict myself and go through this narrow path because I don't see any other way. Please don't write this down. How the hell do the Whitelegs normally get through here? Do they have to swim? Definitely a bottleneck against attackers, I guess. Your bandages are gonna get soaked by this. I hope you brought spares. Oh, this is gonna be a tight fit. I better be quick. Oh god, water in the helmet! Jesus blaspheming Christ, everything's white again. Oh, don't take me back to that weird place, please. Oh, it was just an explosion, thank God. I thought it was something much worse. Not to complain about my survival, but maybe you should have set those off as I was crossing that. Rookie mistake, Whiteleg.
This is taking too long. We can't let salt-upon wounds escape. I'm going to find a way around. God willing, we will finish this together.
I mean, if you give me a leg up, I'm pretty sure I can climb over this, Joshua? Seriously? You're gonna leave me here? I don't know my way around this camp, you crispy fuck. Besides, I told Daniel I would restrain you if things get too heated. I don't want you out of my sight. Fuck me. This was all your fault, Totem. Yeah, you could have been a benevolent deity, a voice of reason for the Whitelegs. But no, that would be too boring, wouldn't it? War Totem sounds way cooler than Peace Totem. Oh, where did he go? There was literally no good reason for us to split up. I'm not gonna go directly through the rubble. And I'm not even joking about keeping an eye on him. I thought Daniel was exaggerating when he talked about the fires inside of Joshua, but I'm not so sure anymore. I mean, the guy was throwing words like extermination around like he's ordering a beer. Then again, this is Mr. Heads on Spikes we're talking about. That should have been my first. Oh!
Drop your weapon. Now drop yourself.
Wow, I should have shot him in the lungs.
Drop your weapon. I said drop your weapon.
Okay. I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, I was just using the right weapon for the job. Nothing to do with my non-existent aim. Okay, I really didn't want to reinforce the point. That's why you had to die. Okay, Father, we really need to talk about these sights. What the hell happened? Did something fall on this gun? It's making me look like I don't know how to shoot, and I don't like that. When it's time to teach the Sorrows how to shoot a rifle, I hope Joshua doesn't use this one to begin with. They're gonna need a beginner-friendly rifle, not this. This is for advanced users only, hence why I can't shoot for shit with it. Believe it or not, I don't actually need any more ammo. I'll save them for the Sorrows to clean up later. Don't need them from now on. It does make me wonder who's gonna use this rifle after me. A part of me wants it to be Waking Cloud, because come on, she's earned it by now. But she's gonna need to take care of her children. That's gonna be a full-time job, and Daniel better not put her anywhere near danger, or I'll know the reason why. Maybe one of her children will grow up to use this. And the armor, I don't know. There should be a ritual, like the one I had to do for the Yao Guai gauntlet, minus the camps, because fuck that. Where the fuck? Did I just go around that blocked path? That would be a very happy accident, because I certainly didn't know for sure. But now what? I don't hear any gunfire, so that's a bad sign. Am I still in the Three Marys right now? Where's Choco? I need him. Oh. Bear traps. Yeah, that's the trouble with laying down traps. You're basically telling people where you don't want them to go. Oh no, don't keep going towards the trapped path. You're supposed to respect the traps, fear the traps. Well, I'm neither respectful nor fearful, so what's your backup plan, Sold Upon Wounds? That's not entirely true. I am respectful towards the wishes of people worthy of respect. Like good old Randall Clark. Hope you're having fun in the afterlife watching me wipe the floor with these fuckers in your name. Unfortunately, your children are currently being converted by some other guy, but I've got you covered, buddy. Don't you worry. Hang on a minute. Is that a white leg? It is. Why is he just cowering like that? Did he step in his own bear trap? Hey man, now would be a great time to have second thoughts about your choices in life. What the? Someone else was right there next to him. Oh, holy shit! Did you just execute him? Hey, wait a minute. You had this guy at gunpoint. Why did you pull the trigger? Did he try something? Did you sneeze? Oi, dead horse.
Good.
Don't just goot me. Why did you do that? He was defeated.
Oi.
What's that supposed to mean? Oh, you're not even gonna turn around, are you? Okay, I'm just gonna give you the benefit of the doubt and assume he tried to take you by surprise. Just try not to do that again, okay? Oh, who the fuck am I kidding? She totally just executed that white leg. I mean, I understand the sentiment, but what the fuck, Joshua? The Soros are watching. We talked about this. Oh, they must have been planning for this way before I got here. It's your fault, I don't care. I mean, okay, I don't know what we're supposed to do with captured white legs other than taking their weapons and then kicking them out of Zion. I don't trust keeping them around. But this is just going to feed into Daniel's narrative. It's more complicated than that, but he's not going to want to hear shit. Oh, lovely. Guys, it's over!
Your continued resistance is an affront to God, to humanity, and to common fucking sense.
But you guys were never big on any of those, were you? Well, let me tell you something. You never stood a chance. As soon as everybody stopped jerking around and started taking decisive action, it was all over. Don't believe me? Go ask the fiends once you find them in hell. They'll tell you all about it. But Daniel didn't want to take that decisive action. They could have done this ages ago, but no. Well, he can ignore reality as much as he wants, but a true leader doesn't get to make easy choices. Nobody really needs a leader to make those. But the difficult choices, the questionable choices, the choices that are not black and white, those are what true leaders have to make. And whatever outcome that turns out to be, a true leader should stand their ground and take it. If it works out, then great. If it doesn't, then they should blame no one but themselves. And I don't know how to do that part, hence why I'm not going to be leading anybody anymore. Is that a white leg? Oh no. Oh shit, that's a dead horse up there. Hey, don't do anything, do you hear me? That scraped my ankle. Oh, holy shit, that could have been bad. Dead horse, listen, that white leg is now a prisoner. I don't care what Joshua told you, we are taking them alive, alright? Did something just explode? That better not be what I think it is. Oh, it's totally what I think it is. Are you fucking serious? Of all the things you could have done, you set him on fire? Okay, seriously, did Joshua tell you to do that? Or did he just say give them what they deserve and that was your interpretation? Because you just went from vengeance to sadism. And would it kill you to at least acknowledge my existence while I'm asking you a question? What the hell was that? Is that one of the Soros?
Good.
Oh, thanks for that. Now, did he just execute a prisoner? And how many have you killed?
Hoi.
Not even gonna look at me in the eyes. Fantastic. Joshua should have taught you some manners in addition to the language. And you down there. I can't tell exactly what happened, so you'll probably survive in the courtroom. But let's not kid ourselves. It's pretty obvious. Oh, hang on a minute. My fucking ankle. Okay, I'm good. But seriously, I was this close to losing my foot because I was too busy trying to prevent a war crime. Holy shit. I'm blaming this on Joshua as well. Oh, God. This is not a smart idea. Yep, once again, the silence is deafening. I guess the battle's over. What the fuck am I gonna say to Joshua when I see him? I know I have to say something because I do not want to leave the Soros or the dead horses in his hands if this is how he's gonna behave. Oh, I spoke way too soon.
Run away! Run away if you want to live!
Or you could just run straight at me. Holy shit. Better to get shot than burnt.
There'll be plenty of burning in hell.
But seriously, stop throwing pipes at me! Is this why you don't have indoor plumbing? Man, that is just the perfect metaphor, isn't it? You took something useful and turned it into a disposable weapon. Daniel is right. Your whole society is a dead end. You either burn yourselves out, or someone will do it for you. You thought you could have a future with a legion? I don't think Caesar would have been that impressed even if he was still alive. He would have turned you into cannon fodder, I have no doubts about that. Your only legacy will be as a turning point for Zion and the new Canaanites. Well done. I hope you're proud of yourselves. Now then, Salt Upon Wounds, either show yourself and die, or do the right thing and run.
Ye have sown death, and so shall ye reap it.
Oh, here we go. Joshua? Oh, where is that man? Look, whatever you're doing, stop. This valley ain't big enough for two nut jobs. Oh, there you are. Well, look at you. You've been busy. Oh!
We warned you at Syracuse, and you persisted. You took advantage of us at New Canaan to drive us out. And like the dogs of Caesar you are, you followed us to Zion. And now you stand on holy ground, a temple to God's glory on earth. The only use for an animal in our temple is sacrifice. Kale wachene conserva o. You understand me, don't you? Don't you?
Outman. Kunaman mad. He killed all white legs. You talk. You stop.
Wait a minute. You're Salt Upon Wounds? The butcher of New Canaan? The devil of Zion? You? Huh. Strange. I'd imagine you would have a spine, not begging for your life. What the hell happened? You could kill people in their sleep, but not fight a man one-on-one? And you thought you could join the Legion? Good joke. I'll be laughing at that one all night. Fucking hell, do you know what this means? If you fought to the death, then I could just pretend we killed you out of self-defense. But now that you're begging, it's gonna look real bad if we executed you. So now I'm gonna have to convince Joshua to stand down. So thanks for that, you fuck.
Him hear you. You talk.
Don't listen to this thing. His cries are those of a mad beast caught in a thicket. He gave no mercy to my family, and I will give none to his.
No. Okay, first off, he can fucking wait. But you going ahead of me like that was not cool. We talked about this beforehand. We go in together, quick and efficient, treated like a mission and nothing more. But clearly that came through one year and went out the other. Well, congratulations. You got it. It's over. Now you can do us both a favor and calm the fuck down. I mean, look at this guy. Is he even worthy of your obsession anymore? Frankly, I'm not sure he's even worth spending a bullet on.
He has a debt to pay for what he's done, and I've come to collect. And so he's chosen to cower in the water like a dumb animal.
Debt to pay? You already made him pay it. The source of his power was his reputation, and now it's shattered to a million pieces before us. You've already subjected him to something worse than death. You've humiliated him, and by extension, you've humiliated his tribe. Their ambitions with the Legion are over. And when the word gets out that the mighty Whitelegs have been reduced to a bunch of cowards begging for their life, everyone else will descend upon them like ravenous beasts. They're no threat to Zion anymore. And if all you wanted was revenge, then you've already got it. But we both know there's more at play here, don't we? This is bigger than just satisfying your need for revenge. You know what I saw on the way here? While you were frolicking in your own revenge fantasy? I saw dead horses and sorrows execute unarmed prisoners. Now, did you not know that was happening, or did you not care? I mean, should I blame them? Or should I blame the leader of the dead horses for being a fucking psychopath? I mean, you took your eyes off the ball, Joshua. You really fucking did. Even if you believe yourself to be nothing more than God's weapon on earth, you cannot afford to behave like that anymore. Because like it or not, you're a leader now. And after what I saw today, I shudder to think what you'll do with that responsibility. And I can say that because I've been there. This is the kind of responsibility I ran away from. I realized how much damage I was capable of inflicting on both my enemies and my friends. So I ran.
I'm a coward, Joshua. I ran the moment things didn't go my way. Even Daniel is better than me. He might have wanted to run away from conflict, but he would have stuck to his beliefs and taken responsibility for what would have happened next. I can imagine that. But what you are doing is worse. I shackled my family to me and nearly jumped off a cliff. But I cut them loose and ran before it was too late. You, on the other hand, are dead set on finding out which is harder, your face or the ground. And all the while, you'll be dragging all of them down to hell with you. Don't believe me? Look at yourself. Standing there like the grim fucking Reaper. I feel like we just time traveled back a few years. Should I be calling you Joshua or Leggett? Back then you used to make examples out of people, right? Well, here you are, doing exactly the same thing. Whether you realize it or not, your victim is him, and your audience is all the people looking towards you for inspiration. And they're looking really fucking hard right now. You know, I had my doubts about you when I got here. A head on the pike speaks 1,000 words, you can't deny that. It was Follow's chalk and his absolute devotion to you that changed my mind. I thought perhaps you really have changed. Follow's chalk certainly thought you changed. And the new Canaanites went to their graves believing you've changed. Were they wrong? You were given a second chance. And look what you're doing with it. Joshua, look at me. You have a wound in your heart. It started as a scratch when you chose to help Caesar. But over time, it festered until it became a gaping chasm. The fire at Hoover Dam cauterized it, but the death of your family at New Canaan ripped it open again. And now it's festering once more. Killing the Whitelegs now won't help you heal. It'll only make things worse. And no amount of blood is going to fill that chasm. Is that what you really want?
I want to take from them what they took from me, from my family. In this life, I want them to suffer. I want all of them to die in fear and pain. I want to have my revenge against him, against Caesar. I want to call it my own, to make my anger God's anger, to justify the things I've done. Sometimes I tell myself that these wildfires never stop burning, but I'm the one who starts them, not God, not them. I can always see it in my mind, the warmth and the heat. It will always be a part of me. But not today. Go. Get out of here. Go back. Back to the Great Salt Lake.
That went a hell of a lot better than I thought it would.
That's it. It's finished. Thank you for staying with me. I couldn't have done this on my own. Let's go find Daniel. Tomorrow we'll be here soon. And there is much to do.
This is the Courier speaking. If you can hear this, then Zion's future has been secured.
And so it was that the conflict between the New Canaanites and the Whitelegs was finally resolved. The Courier's involvement had tipped the scale, shifting the fragile balance of power.
To any Whitelegs still lingering in Zion, you are done. Your best warriors are either dead or scattered. Your leader has been humiliated before those you once considered weak. Return to the hell that birthed you while you still can. We won't stop you. But if you insist on fighting, then you shall soon learn that our mercy has already run dry. I would implore you to change your ways and live peacefully, but I think that's a waste of time. Dare you prove me wrong?
Demoralized by the Dead Horse and Sorrow's attack the Courier and Joshua Graham led against them, the Whitelegs retreated to Great Salt Lake. Their days were numbered. Word soon reached the 80s tribe that the Whiteleg's spirit was broken. Their war chief a dim shadow of his former self. By year's end, the 80s would overrun the Whiteleg's camps, scattering the tribe to the winds and claiming the Great Salt Lake for its own.
To the Sorrows, you have won a great victory, but you do not know how close you were to stepping off a cliff. The line between righteous fury and irredeemable darkness is razor thin. Perhaps you were taught this many times before I arrived, but now you have experienced it firsthand. Some of you stepped over that line. I won't name names. You know who you are. But I guess that's the only way the rest of you can learn. I won't try to patronize you by telling you which side of the line is for the best. But I just hope you all realize that defending your home and losing your soul are not the same thing. It's up to you to find that line and stay on the correct side.
The Sorrows fought beside Joshua Graham and the dead horses, eradicating the threat the Whitelegs posed to Zion. Seeing the Courier convince Joshua Graham to spare Salt Upon Wounds, the Sorrows learned that retribution could be tempered by mercy. Though he despaired at the Sorrows' loss of innocence, Daniel took some small consolation in the Courier's lesson, and prayed it would take root.
To the dead horses, your history and culture is different to the Sorrows, so I won't try to treat you in the same way. Joshua is a strong leader, there is no doubt about that. But I hope you can see now that even a great man like him can still at times waver. For no one is free of flaws and times of darkness. Reputation and accomplishments are not what makes one great. It is their willingness to confront their inner demons and to listen to wise counseling when they are close to the edge. I wish the Mojave had someone with those qualities. I was disappointed. But Joshua has those qualities. Learn from him, not just his strength, but his humility. Only then can you truly call yourselves enlightened. Only then can you learn to coexist with people unlike yourselves. I hope in time you will become great allies with the Sorrows and learn to love them despite your differences.
Having helped eradicate the Whitelegs from Zion, the dead horses returned to Dead Horse Point in triumph. They remained neutral toward the Sorrows, but as years went on, there were periods of competitive friction, even violence between the tribes. The new Canaanites, Daniel especially, intervened regularly as mediators, but found it difficult to reconcile the tribe's conflicts.
To any members of the Happy Trails Trading Company, I am sorry your initial scouting mission ended in such tragedy, but take heart in the knowledge that the conflict is over. I have done what I can to keep the door open for future trading missions. The locals will respect your presence, but only if you respect their customs in return. These people are not for you to exploit. Ask the Whitelegs why you shouldn't try. You have a gold mine within your grasp. Don't ruin it. And needless to say, when you return to your bosses, remember that it was a man from the Mojave that made this possible, not the NCR. If you're still struggling to compete against the Crimson Caravan back home, then maybe it's time to move to greener pastures. After all, the path we used to get here started in the Mojave. That's all I'm saying.
The defeat of the Whitelegs and Zion marked a turning point in the fortunes of the Happy Trails Caravan Company. Every 2 months, the caravan met with the new Canaanites in Zion Valley to trade. Happy Trails soon returned to prosperity. The vigilance of the Sorrows and dead horses in defending southwestern Utah, initially startling to Happy Trails caravans, soon proved a blessing. The tribes united against the 80s, driving them back from Highway 50, and thus opening yet another trading route for Happy Trails caravans.
To follows chalk. There's so much more I wanted to teach you, but so little time. I have left you as much information as I can, but it barely scratches the surface compared to what you could learn for yourself once you leave this valley. I guess all I can say is, remember what's important in life. Remember that the lights and wonders of the world, however shiny and beautiful, can never replace your family. Remember that a wise man does not discard what he already knows for what's new. He takes in everything and finds wisdom from the whole, not any one side. I guess all I can say is, follow your heart and take extraordinary care. If I ever encounter you again outside this valley, I hope I find you wiser and happier than you are now.
Follows Chuck took the courier's words to heart and decided that he would behold the sights and sounds of distant lands with his own eyes and ears. After returning to Dead Horse Point, he quarreled with his family and other tribe members about his ambitions. One morning, they awoke to discover that Follows Chuck had set off alone, westward, into the wilderness. He was never seen again.
To Waking Cloud, I cannot begin to imagine the depth of your grief. I know I haven't come across as someone with a lot of empathy or tact during our time together, but please believe me when I say I am sorry for your loss. And believe it or not, I'm sure Daniel feels the same way. He made a bad call when he tried to keep the truth from you. That much is certain. But how many of us are truly free from making bad decisions like that? Especially when it comes to being the bearer of bad news to the people we care about. All we can do now is look to the future. Look to your children and the years still ahead of you. I'm sure the story of your family has just begun.
Waking Cloud was distraught when she learned of her husband's death, but took comfort from her tribe and the compassion of the new Canaanites. She forgave Daniel for having concealed her husband's fate from her, and learned to accept his fate. When her grief faded, she took a husband from the Dead Horse tribe. At her bidding, he stayed close to home.
To Joshua Graham. What can I say that I haven't said already? You might not realize this, but despite everything you have done, you are a good leader. You do not deny your past demons, nor do you deny your own weaknesses. But you almost let those demons consume you, and it would have led to a place darker than any of us would dare to tread. But hey, that's why I was there to pull you out. I'm sure that's what your God intended all along. I'm not as wise as I like to pretend to be, but as long as you can promise to hold true to the one lesson I gave you, then you will be the leader the Dead Horses need. And in so many ways, you have taught me what it means to be that leader. We have both fallen so far, yet only one of us tried to run away. I'm not sure I'm ready to stop running and do what's right, but now I know there's no future in that path. Do I believe I deserve forgiveness? I guess I'll find out soon enough. And who knows? Maybe someday I'll return and ask for your guidance. And maybe I'll be genuine about it too.
The threat of the Whitelegs ended. Joshua Graham helped the Sorrows and Dead Horses tend to their fallen comrades and secure Zion. The Courier's words had stayed Joshua's wrath in his darkest hour, and in sparing salt upon wounds, he was changed. While he continued to advocate militant opposition to the enemies of New Canaan, he sometimes showed quarter to those who crossed his family. Eventually, this new spirit would diminish the myth of the burned man in distant lands. A small price for the peace it brought to Joshua Graham.
To Daniel, despite everything I have said, can you believe that I wish you nothing but peace? I can never fully understand how much you have suffered over the years, but I can offer my condolences. You are a good man who refuses to stand idly by while your people are under threat. And while your methods may differ, you are the counterbalance Joshua needs. The voice of peace to accompany the voice of strength. No civilization can last without both, and I'm sure we all wish the people of Zion to last for many generations to come. So please, stay. Offer these people guidance, but also respect. Because like it or not, they are not lambs or children. They are a people, and they deserve to forge their own path.
For years after the defeat of the Whitelegs, Daniel did his best to minister to the Sorrow's spiritual needs. Try as he might, he could not hold back the tribe's increasing militancy and reverence of Joshua Graham. Demoralized, he returned to his family and Dead Horse Point. His failures haunted him for the rest of his days.
To Randall Clark, I never met you in life. Few people did. But to have followed your story from beginning to end is an honor I didn't know I needed. Thanks to you, I see now what my self-loathing would have led to. How much it would have destroyed me. But also, thanks to you, I see how even a broken man can leave behind such a beautiful legacy. What, did you think I was only going to mock you? Don't underestimate me, old man. As for your children, you can rest easy. I have transcribed everything you wrote and left them with Waking Cloud. She will pass on your story. The good, the bad, and everything in between. Your memory shall not fade. It shall be the foundation of their world. And with that, Waking Cloud, I shall leave his armor and rifle to you. These relics belonged to the Father, and now they belong to the Sorrows. For me to have used them in your hour of need was a great honor, but I have no right to take them away from their rightful owners. Use them in his name to protect your people and pass them on to those worthy of his legacy, is what he would have wanted. As for me, I think it's time for me to end my little journey of self-destruction. I may not end up back in the Mojave, but wherever I go next, I think it's time to take what I have learned from all of you and face myself.
And with that, the Courier walked out of the history of the tribes of Zion and back to the gathering storm of the Mojave Wasteland.
Has your life taken a turn? Do troubles beset you? Has fortune left you behind?